Sup shitters, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today I'm going to be checking out an album from Ellis Hadlock titled Timeless Moods. And if we switch over to here, it wasn't long ago that I reviewed a track of Ellis's. It was a single. It was Morning After Feel, which I enjoyed. It was a different direction for Ellis because it had a little bit more of that sort of vocal-led stuff, and I liked the vast majority of it. And you know, I've reviewed albums for Ellis, like As Time Goes On in the Universe and such, and we have more to listen to today. I have to admire Ellis's work ethic. It's fantastic that they're putting out this much music, and for the vast majority of the time, I've enjoyed my time with it. So we're gonna have a quick look at the album art here, Timeless Moods, and we're gonna listen through each of these tracks today. It's an 8-track review from start till finish because we're reviewing the whole album of Timeless Moods. And we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Fantastic instantiation of the theme with these keys and strings. Put that album up there just for a little bit. It's very gentle, isn't it? Great dynamic range to it. It's very misty, but it's also kind of peaceful, eh? Oh, a little bit of a minor turn there. That's kind of intriguing. A little bit of tension's good, you know? If there's no tension in your arrangements, it'll just sound either generic or cheesy, and you don't want that, man. Okay, a little bit of exploration, experimentation with that right hand there, with the strings panned on the left, which I think is a clever decision, you know? Oh, I love the sound of that pan flute, man. It's wonderful. This is one of Ellis Hadlock's strengths, is that they're able to sort of bring you into a different universe with their music without fail. That's just, I think, symbolic of their dedication and experience, especially when it comes to the instrumental stuff, sort of cinematic, sort of theatrical stuff. That was a wonderful beginning, and just have a quick look before I listen through Crystal Clear Solitude, because that first track was Memories Inside. We've got timeless sounds, feelings, emotion, memories, solitude, heart, and other things that matter and go on. Enjoy the timeless journey. That's wonderful. Oh, right, I should note that this releases on September 5th, 2022, so if you're watching this, it'll be out, so you should go show Ellis Hadlock some love. Seriously, you can get every single thing he's ever made for $69 USD, 25% off. That's legitimately a good time, dude. Can we just be real for a sec? I would love to listen to this stuff whilst I'm driving somewhere or going on an adventure or something. Especially if you have kids and you don't want Baby Shark and you don't want Shivers by Ed Sheeran for the 13th time today. Maybe you just want to listen to some really chilled out music. Maybe you want to put the kids to sleep. Put on Timeless Moods. I don't have kids, so maybe I shouldn't be trying to put myself to sleep. But, you know, actually, you know, I adore this kind of music, you know. We've got Crystal Clear Solitude, track number 2. It's a good day. It's a good day when I get to review Ellis Hadlock stuff. I'm not biased. I just know at this point, through experience and through repeated great releases, that Ellis knows what he's doing. It's nice to have the vocals come in like this, though. Great new texture we haven't had yet throughout this album. Drums! Hey! More of this, please. We've got an oboe in there or a clarinet. Nice side chaining of those kicks. Oh, the synthetic bass is fun as well. I reckon that Ellis would have been really good with the like early 2010s dubstep. Like I can imagine this working so within that genre. And that I love the note it goes down to for this part of the bass line. And the peaceful textures and colorations here make you really feel as if you are safe and sound. And the way those melodies and the flutes or woodwinds are lifting up there is a nice balancing of the... Oh, we just get it to... Oh, dude, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. It's so cool. I had all the time in the world for this, man. All the time in the world. I mean, there's just so many ways you can screw up the sound of a woodwind in a track, and the fact that Ellis is just nailing it, you know, it's just so magnificent how we're getting that oboe, that clarinet sit there with that lone voice in amongst the reverb, wishy-washy synth parts. It is like the sun rising in the morning, at dawn. Oh, and those vocals are like silk, aren't they? Now, I know that people can do really kind of interesting stuff with vocals nowadays, like they can put their vocal chops into synths and make them sort of sing like this, but I don't know, man. It's just, because that's the thing, like, this is Ellis's thing, you know? And it makes me really happy when people do their stuff well. Oh, great subtle bit of string work with the clarinet. So I liked it, how it went down that range. Is that like a cello or something like that? Dude, that was stunning, man. Crystal clear Solitude. I almost felt like I went into a meditative state listening through that. But we got The Look I See, track number 3. Oh, that parallel major lift was great then. Similar style to the previous two. I think we've got a sort of a consistency like that. Oh, you let that rise, man. Great panning of the instruments here. Strings on the right, piano mostly on the left. Sorry, strings on the left, piano mostly on the right. Although I think that's indicative of the actual panning of an actual piano, how you have the... When this will be opposite, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Great legato feel with those string parts. Because it kind of resolves to the parallel major, it kind of has a little bit of a waltz-ish kind of feel, like you're waltzing through the clouds. But I'd say for certain that this is one of Ellis Hadlock's stronger albums I've listened to. There's a little bit more action in this one. Makes me excited for At One Heart, which is 7/17, you know? I mean, if Ellis is not doing this already, I really think he should be like doing like scores for like film and like video games and stuff like that. I can imagine video games with like tracks like this suit really well, like open world RPGs and stuff like that. I think that the gracefulness of it, like you could probably even like be like, yo, you're making this game about exploration or something like that. Have that as the background whilst people go around the map or something, and just like licenses. I don't know, man. There's potential. No shade, man. It's cool. The look I see. And we're just continuing. Gentle building that automation. Here we go. A little bit of extra complexity as we go on. Smart move, smart move, smart mode. Smart move. Dude, smart move. Oh, we're teasing a little bit. I thought we were going to go boom, 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 boom. But nah, we're being gentle. There we go. This is what I needed to listen to today, man. I think that there's a... Oh? A little bit of shift in the rhythmic phrasing of it. It's nice to have some accents in there as well. I wonder what kind of piano sound he's using. Oh, dude, that twinkle twinkle on the right side there. Oh, dude, that reverb is incredible. And it's a sub layer as a sub, like the little shimmers that you have on the left side there in the higher range. And the choir vocals that are there as a kind of like they're in the sky above. Oh no, you didn't put that synth in there. That somber synth, dude, that coloration. Oh no, Ellis. I wanted that, and I don't always get what I want when I do these reviews. Because it ain't about me, it's about the musician, artist, the band that I'm listening to, but just that there was what I wanted. I just wanted a new layer and something in the mid-range that was still soft and reflected the other instruments well. Yeah, we got it. It just shimmers, and it's just like the stars in the sky, man. It's floating to somewhere. Yeah, the choice to use that flute in here is transcendent. It's a busy melody. We have little gaps occasionally just to allow that theme to sit, and then we've got a bit more development. Kind of gives you a moment just to sit and take stock of what you have and where you're at, you know, as you float to somewhere. Wow, though, dude. You know, I was about to say it's a banger of a track, and I know that's not in the traditional sense. You know, it's not like, oh wow, that track is heavily intense with like the doom, doom, boom, boom. You know, like that's usually what that term is used for, but it's almost like it's the antithesis of it, and it's just as much, it's just as intense an experience. I don't know how to describe it. We're at the halfway point. It's absolutely sort of criminal that this has gone so smoothly. I'm gonna be sad when we're done. I might low key, I might actually buy the album after this review, just because I think this would be great. This would be because I meditate in the mornings. This would be incredible to like meditate to. Imagine lighting some incense and putting the music on and just listening to that. Oh man, that'd be the best, dude. I'm gonna buy this album after this. Again, no bias. I'm legitimately reviewing it as if it's the first time. Like aside from when I said that I could trust that it was good. But anyway, when the first two tracks of an album are equally as good, you kind of know you're set for the rest, right? It's really good, man. The Darker Way. Oh, where are we going with this one? I am concerned. Oof. Yeah, it is definitely, the title says it all, doesn't it? Yeah, I love this change of emotional pace. A little bit more eerie and spooky. Oh, smart move. This is such great music for cinema. You can hear the whistling of like chains or something like that in the wind. And I know you can, you're listening to it, but you get my point. Oh, now that is how you do sub bass. That is how you do sub bass, ladies and gentlemen. Do you feel that? Listen through your headphones. I'm gonna do a PSA right now, here and now, okay? If you are wanting to get the full experience with a track, don't listen through your phone speakers. Get a set of headphones that are semi-decent and don't have an exaggerated bass response. Get them noise cancelling, because that's how you're going to get the full experience from something like this. Your bedroom, wherever you're at, is probably not acoustically designed to be perfect for you to listen to the music in its full form. Get a decent pair of headphones. Or if you've got a room that's treated, listen to it in there, you know? Especially with this kind of music, where there's little nuances. Yeah, you're not going to get 30 hertz through a phone speaker. Unless, like, you want it broken, you know what I mean? Or a phone speaker. Yeah, I did say phone speaker, I think. Have we found the aliens we don't want to meet? I love the automation and how it's swishing around in the headphones. Oh, listen to that build though. It is unsettling, but that's kind of what we've been brought into from the top, right? It's not like this is a song called "This Is Happy Time, Fun Go Land," you know, like this is the darker way. It was an interesting decision to put this in, as the previous 4 tracks have gone from like, I wouldn't necessarily say ambivalent, but like calming and sort of almost semi-neutral to this, which is like, oh, is this the second act of the movie? Are we getting into the trial, the discomfort before the third act where things get resolved with a big overwhelming victory? But I think, like, just before we get into Steps of the Past, the reason I think The Darker Way was so successful is because you didn't have that negativity really at all before. You didn't really have a lot of presence within those minor chords or key sigs before. And when we did have especially sort of minor stuff going on, it was exacerbated by the, or exaggerated by the tones of those synths and the oscillation and the way it kind of writhed around in your headphones. Great sound design. Steps of the Past, track number 6. Wow, man, we're blazing through this album today. See, it's peaceful, man. It's calming. It's like 2:45 in the afternoon, man. It makes me want to go take a happy, peaceful little slumber. Interesting interval use here with these the overall harmony. Does sound like we're going back in time a little bit, though, right? Oh, great extension there, going down there, but leaving that unison note there. Good job. Oh, that gong though, and the way it just hung there, a sense of ceremony to it. Oh man. I mean, as it says, enjoy the timeless journey. We are enjoying it. It's like being wrapped up in a fluffy blanket. Again, that focus on that woodwind lead, aside of those choir synthy parts. I think our lack of drums is a strength for this album. Because without that sense of movement from the drums, you're just sitting there, right? Good job. Hey, nice to get rid of everything except the high part and then going for the final part. It sounds, from my interpretation of this album so far, especially with this track and the previous one, is that we were going in maybe an undesirable direction and then we found ourselves back in the past and we had to get through it by doing a ritual in order for us to continue into the next track, At One Heart. 717. This is the test. What will we use the 717 for? That is my question. Again, like, there's just space. I like the use of a harp or something like that here as a texture we haven't really had so far. A new addition to this instrumental arsenal. No, I'm not upset about that. Got some reverse takes in there as well, floating around the stereo field. That's great. That's a fun choice. Fantastic repeater on those natural harmonics as well, dude. Just, oh. Dude, you could totally put a, like a... No, it's switched. Dang, man. You could have totally put like a chord no groove on that and had like some bass or synths back it up. Go, boom. No, we're here for this part. It'd be cooler to hear some people doing like some remix of these tracks. They sound well on their own, but I think there's a lot you can do with them. Sorry, man. I think I was in a trance there for a moment. I was listening to it, but I was just stuck. I was sucked into it, and then we hear these vocals coming. I'm like, what? What? Where did they go? Are they coming back? Ah. Well played, Ellis. What? Oh, where were we going with that? Wah, 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 wah. Kind of Phrygian mode kind of vibe going on there with that weird texture. I said texture a lot. That weird synth. There we go. Like, was that deliberately... Is it deliberately against the main... Sort of, is there a main... There is a main groove. The chord note, is that deliberately going against that, or is it... I think it is, yeah. Okay, switching the tempo, that's fine. Again, when you have these kind of pad like whoa, those kind of pad like vocals there, you can potentially, if they're constant enough, you can potentially add a new sort of change the speed on another new thing, and it isn't as abrupt as if it completely cut out, I suppose. That's again one of the benefits of not having drums, is that you don't have a clear, distinct, eighth or quarter note groove there, that's really kind of hitting the listener. You can be a bit more floaty with it at one heart. Like, how do you write this? How do you come up with this? How do you decide how long you need these notes to go? Is it literally just intuition? It must be. Because seven minutes is a long time for a song, especially nowadays when the average listener has like a time span of like 2 minutes, right? So to keep us interested for 7, you either have to kind of like lull the listener into like a trance through the music, or you have to keep them constantly rooted in your sort of soundscape for that long, by being more active about their engagement. It's nice to hear the bass response of those plucked notes as well. I should note that the production on Listen to Your Heart, I got it that time. I think that's just about, because this is the only lyrics we've had so far, it's about listening to it. You know, when the song's telling you what to do, you best not argue with it, you know. While walking the timeless. We'll go a dubbish kind of vibe with these drums and the bass. Interesting choice with the hi-hats. They're kind of frenetic sounding, aren't they? But they're subtle enough not to be too distracting or detrimental to the performance. This is why you need dynamic range in a recording, because then you don't just have everything the same loudness. It's not tiring to listen to. I'm only feeling a little bit sleepy because I'm like super chilled out after listening through this, and I think that's kind of the mood of it, right? It's amazing how music can affect you like that though, right? No complaints. Oh, that kind of like slow grind, kind of okay, a little bit more chaotic, but it never becomes too much. Again, I can see this maybe suiting a different vibe, a different time atmosphere than some of the previous tracks in the album, but I don't think it's any lesser because of that. Again, the flickering of the tones of them, that wouldn't have been an easy thing to have configured in your DAW, you know what I mean? Nice loop to that bass line. The boom, 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 boom. I almost like how sparing he is with like the lead elements within this mix, because there's no like real main voice in this track. It just confounds me how it's still just as interesting as if there was. The closest thing I can hear is that the bass line is maybe the lead line, just because it's more present, most present in the middle of the mix, middle of the stereo field. An unusual phrasing and sort of rhythmic sequencing to that sequencer there, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And now we're just leaving? No, this isn't the end of the album. I feel like this is the end of a journey, and that's kind of sad, right? It's a nice way to spend a Thursday afternoon. Remember, everybody, this comes out on September the 5th, so by the time this video is released, it'll be out. Okay, so go show him some love. I don't usually tell people to do that, but seriously, it's good. Well, you know that, you've been listening to it. And we just have the synth strings lead us out. Okay, I don't mind, that's okay. Because this is, it's my conclusion of my review of Timeless Moods, the latest album from Ellis Hadlock Music. Okay, let's talk about it. What do I think this album was about? Well, I think we read it. Timeless sounds, feelings, emotion, memories, solitude, heart, and other things that matter and go on. Enjoy the timeless journey. 8 tracks, each with different sort of identities and concepts and themes. I think the first 3 tracks, texturally, tonally, coloration-wise, they worked off each other really well. Floating to Somewhere became a bit more like a journey. The Darker Way got a bit dark. Steps of the Past with the gongs and everything like that was more like a ritual. At One Heart was just you becoming at peace with your own soul and understanding the good and the bad and everything in between as just a part of being alive. And then Walking the Timeless is you with that knowledge transcending and going to that next plane of existence, I suppose, that next plane of awareness. In that respect, I think this is a phenomenal album. I think the story told through here, even without me needing to really have a lot of context told to me, is just they smashed it. There were no vocals in there aside from listen to your heart. And I think that's kind of a lovely thing to have later on in an album, just to have that listener wait for and be like, oh, that's the message of this. I get it now. Because if you're at the 7th track of an album, you're already invested, right? It's wonderful. Wonderful. We didn't need to have, when we had choirs and stuff like that, the harmonies were gorgeous and how they notched in with everything else. I'm not necessarily sure if we actually recorded all those vocal takes, if I don't know how we got those choir vocals done, because people can do like really fancy stuff with VSTs and stuff nowadays, so it's always worth kind of considering. It's a question I suppose I'll probably need to ask Ellis if I get the chance, how he did the vocals. It's dope anyways. If there was like if there were vocalists that did all those choir parts, they did a tremendous job, great vocal technique, and just the approach and the texturing was phenomenal. I'm really happy with it. I've said texturing so much. The technique and the intent behind it was phenomenal. The structure of each of the track was mostly through composed, and I think that's fine. Each of the songs had a different sort of adventure you could go on. Most, if not all of them, were very peaceful and soothing and calming. I know that the darker way got a little bit ominous near the end, but that's fine, because music doesn't need to be happy or neutral. It can be kind of uncomfortable, and that makes it interesting, because it makes it more relatable, because life isn't always perfect, and with fluffy bunnies and stuff running around. I think that's totally okay to have emotional contrast within the track. It's cool as long as it doesn't result in a complete juxtaposition, which it did. The arrangement, the composition, it's absolutely it's stunning. With no doubt in my mind whatsoever, Ellis Hadlock is one of the best musicians that I review on a semi-regular basis that does this kind of stuff. That may not sound like much, but it really is. There's a lot of people that are interested in doing instrumental music at this point in time, and I think that Ellis Hadlock has nailed it. Has absolutely nailed it. I typically I can't ever remember having a bad time with Ellis's music. I think that the strength of these arrangements in part is because of the choice of instruments. You had strings and woodwinds and flutes and little guitar parts occasionally, bass, and then drums very, very, very rarely, but they were there. When they were there, they made a lot of sense. And with the lack of vocals and often an expanse because of a lack of main lead melody, you might be thinking, well, is the listener going to get lost? But no, because the listener, without the drums, just gets to be enveloped by the overall aura of the track, the combination of these different little ideas that are built upon as a whole. And I just think it's absolutely stunning. You kind of get a similarity in texture and tonality. I keep saying texture, I'm losing my mind. You get a similar kind of feeling from these tracks as you go through, It's not like we abandon the original premise or theme to kind of make it more palatable later on. If we're going to do some happy stuff, we're doing happy stuff. Doing sad, we're keeping it sad. Or kind of weird or itchy or something like that. And I like that authenticity within that choice there. There were no notes out of place. Even if I think there was one point where I wasn't totally sure if the synth was kind of deliberately going against the grain of the main sort of groove or not. But even if that's the case, dude, that can sound cool, and I think that it did. And I also do not need to understand why something is happening to necessarily be able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? That's entitlement when you think music should make sense to you. It's entitlement. Sometimes music can just be, and whether you like it or not is entirely what it is, It's best not to overthink it. The production, recording, mixing, and mastering was absolutely sensational. Everything was glued correctly, EQ'd phenomenally. The filtering, the way that things were stacked in the stereo field, and also in the frequency spectrum, and the way things were glued and leveled, and limiting compression and the effects change on the various instruments, damn near perfect. And I've got no real complaints about this. This is probably one of my favorite albums from Ellis, if not my favorite. And it's just going from strength to strength. So I well done to Ellis Hadlock Music with this latest album, Timeless Moods, out September 5th. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this music, please do go show Ellis Hadlock some love via his various social medias and his Bandcamp page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spider hands out.